Here we are rolling. We are rolling.
Rolling. Keep those doggies rolling.
Puppies, right?
Rod. I think so. Who's first? Who is first? It's my favorite game. My favorite game to see who loads up our chat first. Who.
Yeah, that's always one of the most fun things.
Yeah.
Who is going to be the first one to come?
Who's going to be the first one? Israel! Hello, Israel!
You know, I think Israel might have the...
he has the record of firsts.
Yeah, you know what? Shoot, I thought I had changed that. The hidden...
Hi, Noel. Great to see you. Great to see you. Benzo. Hey, can you guys hear us okay? Okay, heads. Salutations. Salutations. Great to see you. And we're loading up slow but sure. Hello, Michael. There's Robbie. Haha. Benzomatic. Great to see you guys. This is fun. Yes, can hear you great. Good. Good to know. When we did the test, it wasn't so good. There's our very special Kay. Hi. Peaceful Sunday to all. Thank you so much. We need it. I mean, times have been pretty wonky. And Sir Johnny Midas, good morning, guys. Good morning to you. Oh, good. Thank you, Noel. Loud and clear. Great. Good. You know, I had to look up jokes, and they're very dumb, but I'm going to tell one. It was just stupidly cute. So, why don't aliens come to see us anymore? Because we only have one star. Get it? Just the sun. Get it?
1-star rating.
One star rating. Get it? Oh, that's awful. Awful. Yep. So this yogi walks into a sandwich shop and he says, "Make me one with everything." Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to do a little more digging on those. Yep. I think so. I know, I love it. So I told my shadow I needed space, and now it's ghosting me. Get it? Ghosting me. Yeah. You guys like it. Good. Thank goodness. I'm glad I'm not gonna get fired here. Yeah.
This will be a short career.
Yes. Crap on TripAdvisor. Right? We get very good ratings. I'll find better jokes. Hi, Miss Ann Carter. Great to see you. So happy to be here. We're happy to be here too. Midwestern Mom. Yes, I think so, and I want to keep it clean. We have kids that watch this stuff, and I am so happy and glad that children are watching this stuff, and they're learning, how to be kind, and they're learning all some of the sacred arts and early, and they're learning to ask questions. I like that.
Yes, absolutely. So Robbie was wondering if anybody had any weird experiences the other day on the Mayan day out of time. Every day has been weird lately. Everything feels to me so surrealistic. It's just off the charts as far as, I don't know. It's like taking hold of your power of manifestation is really part of it. Realizing that every thought that comes through, you're helping to create your reality. Hey there, Susan. KK in the house.
Oh, there she is. There's our KK, our Susan. People are making it in. This is good. Got some interesting information this morning on the Star Fort. Stuff that I was curious about. I wanted to know. And our galactic friends gave us information. I thought that was very kind of them.
Yes, absolutely. As always, guys, I want to thank everybody for your support over on Patreon.
Thank you.
Exclusive videos each week over there, often multiple times a week, and also for the memberships on YT as well. Star Forts. There's a lot of people that realize that there's something special and unusual about them. You could see, I mean, it's a pretty hot topic, I think. You know, today is John Levy's Sunday, so we usually watch his 20-ish minute video for the week. And, you know, again, he was looking at some remnants of what looked to be star forts. You know, I guess there's been a lot of theories. This is Keith K here. Let's do a star fort thread. And as you can see, over 30 engravings from the 16th to 18th century, perspectives and maps. Oh, man. Yeah, it's fun. What else can you say? I mean, our history, we know, is not what they tell us. That is for sure. And I don't think you're ever going to find the truth of the history in mainstream books. You might find bits and pieces and nuggets of it in some, you know, rare, obscure, you know, I want to say more like nothing that ever was published in mass. And that's one of the things that's cool about this time, because if you have an idea, you could get a book out. I mean, it might not sell 100 copies, but you could still get it into book form. But unfortunately, so much of everything is stored in clouds, which could be erased with a solar eruption, and very well may. Yet we have these manuscripts and these maps from time that make note of things like star forts. Again, there's so many channels out there, and they're growing every single day. The amount of channels that are out there looking at, you know, the history of star forts and what's really going on.
You know, and what I haven't heard is, you know, exactly what were they used for. And I've always been curious. At least I haven't heard that. So I thought I would channel it. That's what I do when I don't know something. You know, I go and I do my thing and I break into channel. And what we got, part of it, we'll just go through it slowly. There's a lot of information. In the late descent of the Kali Yuga, as the frequency of Earth dropped into the most dense vibration, there was these tall, semi-giant beings that were kind of holding on to whatever light they were able to hold on to. And they created these forts, but they weren't just forts. They were geometric frequency grids. And they were not for things like cannon fire. That might have been something they put in there later, but they weren't for cannon fire. They were for holding harmony in a world that was just decaying at a super high rate. And the Galactics said to think of them like sacred frequency stabilizers. Sacred frequency stabilizers planted at key ley line intersections to anchor the, you know, the geometry. You look at them, they all have that divine geometry. They were there to anchor what light was left. So that's some of it.
I think that's huge. And, you know, I want to just right away, when we look at these star forts, Robbie said no two seem to be exactly the same. What does that remind you of? Snowflakes, right?
Yay!
Water. And so it immediately takes me to, you know, Masaru Emoto's experiments with water, showing that you can program a frequency into water and have it manifest. Well, if these were big, they would look like star forts, would they not?
Yeah, I mean, I think that, once again, it's using nature to set a frequency. And they're going by nature to create something in the ether, because they knew the ether was everything. Everything is created out in the ether. Everything that we see, you know, you pick up a flashlight, a stone, a wand, a rattle. It all starts in the ether first. And they did tell me about the beings that were manning these forts were part human, part God. So,
and when we say God, we mean extraterrestrial for the most part. Again, they can be from many different places, you know, whether it's Sirius or Orion, whether it's Pleiades, you know, whether it's Andromedans, Arcturians, Lyrans, of course, you know. So, you know, fractals, Lily was saying all fractals, yes. So, trying to maintain a positive structure as the planet was going into a very, very, what we could perceive as negative and chaotic timeline.
They had a psychic way about them. They could communicate from one star fort to the next. They had this psychic ability to stay connected through the crystalline consciousness grids. I thought that was really cool. So it's like they could you know, if you think of Wi-Fi packets, they would fly through the air, or there's sometimes information they put through the ground like electricity, but they didn't need those artificial means. They could send information to the ground, to the external world, or through the air to speak with each other. I thought that was kind of interesting. Amplifiers of consciousness. That was really cool. I liked that because I think some of that technology is coming back. Amplifiers of consciousness.
Oh, absolutely. So, again, we're at the dawning of an all new era. And the big thing with this time is that we start to have a basic understanding, because we've had no understanding in the Kali Yuga. Distortion and basically stories and lies were the norm. As we discover with all the geopolitical situation, it's all been a whole ruse put over on humanity by the system. So when we look to starting to understand truly the inherent ability that we all have within us to create positive timelines, obviously we're going to unravel the system, and we're going to definitely fractalize timelines.
And Susan was asking, was the movie Frozen about us going back to the organic fractal universe? It could very well been. Susan, I saw more information given out through children's cartoons than any other modality. I swear. And I trust you. If that's what you're getting, I'm right on board with you. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you look at these, you can again see it only makes sense that the star forts were there to pull into place positive energies to try to hang on to the best energies we possibly could. And what would this system do? Well, again, this system would turn it into actual, weapons of war, all about war, where what we look at when we go out of the Kali Yuga, it's not about war. It's truly about peace, and it's about manifestation of positive timelines, positive things, growth, learning, positive sharing of everything that's good, and exploring creation. Because again, we're creators, so doesn't it feel good to create something, whatever that is? Again, we become basically tools and puppets for a system, and they simply rule the creating aspects. But that was then, and this is now, and we're taking the reins, and we are again going to be creators to the fullest. And so a lot of info has been covered when we talk about Dr. Masaru Emoto's water experiments. This is from Yandex AI. Again, showed that when water was exposed to positive affirmations, kind words, classical music, good thoughts, it formed symmetrical crystals that resembled beautiful snowflakes. Ah, yes. I mean, I could see all these looking like snowflakes so easily, couldn't you? I mean, they look like snowflakes to me.
They are beautiful, and when I was asking out there for information, basically asking, what kind of players do we have? We had these other ugly beings come in, these ugly beings, like who were they fighting against? And I saw these very ugly, very, very ugly beings to me. I shouldn't be so judgmental, but they scared me. They really scared me. And
do you want to describe them?
Oh my gosh, they were the kind where they did have like horns coming out of their faces, and
Do they look like Predator?
They did look like Predator. They really did. Most of them looked like Predator. I didn't like it. It was disturbing. But these beings, they had absolutely no ability to create. They would only Aw, thank you, Greg. Oh my gosh, you guys are so kind. Greg, hang out in the end. We're gonna do a nice ding. We're gonna do a ding, and you get to have the lead ding. So please stay at the end and drink some water, because that's really gonna help those dings. Thank you, Greg. They had somewhat lost a connection to source, or they were part of the darkness and part of an imbalance, and they feed off of others and others' energy. It was really kind of gross, and also how they got to Earth. It's like somebody left the door open. That's what I was given this picture. Somebody left the door open. Have you ever been in a workplace where, you have people tailgate you and say you have to have a card to get through, and somebody behind you, oh, I don't have my card. Can you let me in? So you just let the person tailgate. That's how they got here. Somebody left the door open. So there is that.
Yeah, it would make sense that we're going to encounter something that might look like what we've seen in the movies, whether it's Alien or Predator or both. They're always getting us ready for that next step, and I think what comes next is really, it's going to be hard for a lot of people to handle. Just a realization, again, that we're not alone, and that there's so many different species of beings out there. In fact, that they've all been here, and what they do, as Cindy was alluding to, these beings lost their creative spark, so all they can do is kind of try to mimic. And did they lose it because they're being controlled by a very advanced, extraterrestrial AI that literally is using all the beings that it captures under its influence as an energy source? I do think the ultimate Satan per se is an AI.
Oh, I do too. I strongly, the AI is a thing, and the ugly guy's job was to come here and completely wipe the memory of the divine. That was their job. They were to hunt down these, I guess I could call them superhumans, and collapse the light grid. That was their job. And they were just going from one place to the next, and doing what they could to wipe out the light. And when we look at the superhumans, what were they? They were, the reason they had to go is like they wanted to completely wipe them out, because they carried ancient light codes in their bodies. And they come from very divine bloodlines of the light. They were capable of remembering who they truly are and awakening others. That is such a big threat. Oh my gosh. They do not want anyone helping anyone, tapping into their energy field and helping them remember who they are. So it was very important that the superhumans got destroyed. So it was very, very ugly. It was a very ugly scenario, something that went on for, I don't know how long this went on. I just know it kind of dwindled out, and some of the superhumans were able to go underground. Some were able to escape. Some did end up reincarnating again and again. So you know what this reminds me of, you guys? It reminds me of all of us.
And, this is one of the most quoted old scriptures in Genesis. Genesis 6, right? It talks about the Nephilim in those times. It talks all about the sons of God, and originally it was the sons of the gods. Truly, it was the Elohim, the mighty ones, the ones that judge humanity, is how it really translates. And what you have is the Nephilim. It cuts. And it says they're going to limit the human lifespan, again, to 120 years max. This is mostly done through toxification and genetic manipulation. Also manipulating the oxygen levels, lowering the oxygen levels in our atmosphere, which they are capable of. Then you have the Nephilim, the hybrid offsprings, the sons of God, again, the sons of the gods, the sons of the mighty ones that judge humans. that basically, again, were commingling with humans. And, it's given a negative light, right? And then you have this, though. They were the heroes of old, men of renown, mighty men, heroes of old, men of renown. That doesn't make any sense. And the reality is no, because what you're talking about is the leftover benevolent ETs were here on Earth working with humans. Who built the star forts? It was the leftover benevolent ETs that were here. They are the creators with humans side by side. They're the ones that help build most of these structures.
So to me, the most exciting part of this is like, why am I able to get the information now? Why is this information coming up now? And they said it's because the light grid, all of these star forts, they are doing their reawakening. They are going to start making a difference in certain areas. It might be very small and subtle when it comes to local towns and places, but these things, these should be a type of a location where people want to go to get DNA upgrades, downloads, call it what you will. But I think they should be physically gone to, if at all possible. Otherwise, I think just looking at them, staring at them, studying them could help your DNA begin to unravel. If any of this is resonating with you, you're probably part of this history, and for a time you were hidden, but then reborn. So here we are. And yeah, I've been really curious about them. I'm like, okay, these are nice, but no one's really saying what they are. And I didn't realize they would be some sort of a alien, shelter for descending into the deepest, darkest time of the Kali Yuga. I think that was all very fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So you could, as K-Head says, are they mantras in water crystal form? In a way, again, it's pulling in positive energies here on the planet. And the descent into the Kali Yuga, it also feels like, in some ways, how far down the descent happened was maybe unexpected.
I think so. This whole life is unexpected. It's like we cannot see past our own veil. We all have this self-created veil that we come down here with. Some people design in their own veil that they can see certain things. Some people choose to stay completely blind, but at least we get to choose how far beyond the veil we can see. And if we want to go through an awakening at a certain point, and you and your star family get together and you guys decide that, okay, at this point in your life, you're going to come alive and you're going to understand your purpose, your mission. And I think that goes for every life after life. It is a bit of a mystery, so that you can continue to grow. If things were not a mystery, then there wouldn't be much growth in it, because you would already know what's going on.
Robbie is asking about, can you awaken your DNA by staring at the Sri Yantra?
I think so.
Yeah, because the Sri Yantra is really powerful, and it is kind of a portal gateway to the divine feminine.
Remember that video we did about the Sri Yantra? There was all these orbs coming.
Yeah, we had tons. We did do a video,
thousands of orbs.
And there was so many orbs coming through our Sri Yantra. We have Crispy has a Sri Yantra symbol in his bedroom, and we have a 4 by 6 foot kind of like a fabric of the Sri Yantra, and it is a portal. Absolutely, it helps to pull in benevolent energies and beings, and so we do absolutely utilize it on a regular basis. Meditating on it, absolutely. This is going to be part of the series that we're starting to put together over on Patreon. There's going to be a lot of instructions and how-tos, different meditations, different exercises, because there are different tools to utilize to awaken your DNA and to increase your pineal gland's capacity. Rekindle it. I'll tell you, our pineal glands are going to all new levels now. That is absolutely for sure.
I feel we are. We are going to new levels. We're figuring things out. Oh my gosh, feel free. Thank you. Please, please, please stay at the end. You and Greg, you guys are going to carry some really nice tunes for everyone else. But the energy is going to be going to you too. Thank you so very much. It really helps. I mean, we love to do this work and we love to reach people. We love to help people and guide them, because this can be a very scary time, and all of this makes it really possible. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we look to this, think about this time. Think about our myths and legends, right? Gosh, when you think about Tolkien, think about the orcs, and then we think about our modern day predator. They're both kind of gross and scary, and you don't want to encounter them. But yet these beings are based on very, very real beings. And the fact is, we've been under the control through the Kali Yuga of very dark entities. The whole system is unraveling. It really is unraveling. And it's going very, very fast. I almost cannot believe that we can't get everybody to wake up. But, again, everybody at their own time and own pace. Thank you, Midwestern Mom.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. We really appreciate that. That helps. Every bit helps, you guys.
Yeah, it's everybody runs into difficulties in life and unexpected things, and yeah, absolutely. It was 6 weeks ago. I wasn't sure I was still going to be here much longer. It was unexpected, out of the blue. I think as a whole, we're always learning and always growing from the unexpected events, especially that hit us. The connection between Star Wars, Norumbega. Yeah, there's a lot of things, and much love, Claudette, as well. Oh man, it's all right there between our mythologies, ancient and our modern mythologies. Yeah, they're getting us ready to meet beings that are not going to be human. And of course, don't go on the first ships, because the first ships are the ones that have been here the whole time, guys. That's the crew that's been running the show behind the scenes.
I know, and things are beginning to come back online, and I do look forward to getting more information from this. I sense a whole storyline. I sense a galactic story. I sense a small book coming when it comes to these star forts. I think they are, well, they've always felt legendary to me. It's always been in the back of my mind, this little itchy scratchy, like, what were those really for? And the information that I got this morning was just, it was just like, come on, it was a little taste. It's like, come on, I need more. I need more than this. But, I don't want to be gluttonous, but I would like more. It was very fun to get the little bit of information I did get from the Galactics. So we'll take that and we'll see what develops from it. But I think it is very unique that they're all snowflake shaped. I mean, what does that tell us? Did they take the energy and just kind of copy a pattern that was already in the ether? And they did it so well. I mean, the manpower that it would take to create those and then charge them, I do think they are very sacred. I think, every stone, every pebble, everything that comes from those is a sacred item, and those should be treated as such. If you have anything that's charged or sacred like that, you really have to be very careful. Sometimes those things can they can turn on you. They can really, truly turn on you. So you have to be very careful and specific where you set your sacred items, and then if you don't know exactly how to use it, you can create problems. But I think it's fascinating that our reality can be molded and shaped through 3D items. It really can. It's amazing. Uh-oh.
Absolutely. Susan, down to you. Thank you so much too. Susan's been with us forever too.
I know. I love it. Hi, I remember Susan Donahue. She was here like my very first time I came online for one of the lives. And she said the sweetest thing. She says, we're all going to get through this together. So I knew that she was the nicest one. So I stayed focused on Susan Donahue. But so many I have met after that and just become so close to you guys, like true family, true family. Thank you.
I think the timelines are very much in flux. I think at this point in time, anything could really happen. And, I don't think we are pegged into any one timeline. I think we really have blown apart some of the real exceedingly negative possible timelines. I think they've been totally eradicated and destroyed. Not to say, though, I mean, we still have things. There are cards for the archons, let's say archons, to play. They do have cards to play. We all know what they are. Obviously, global war, some other plague upon the land, economic, catastrophe and downfall. Those three things they can absolutely do. They could also make it look like something came from the sky and tell us it's asteroids, comets, or what have you. And of course, all the weather warfare that we see all the time. We understand this is the system. This is what the system is doing. There are natural changes, but the natural changes, the natural changes, they're necessary and ultimately they are benevolent. And if we listen and stay in tune with Mother Earth, we'll know what to do. We'll know, okay, not too safe to be over here by this volcano. Okay, not too safe at this time to be on this fault line. We'll know. We'll get the message and we'll be able to adjust and stay safe. I truly believe that if you are really in tune again with the divine feminine, the mother energy.
Yeah, I mean, it's very important to get grounded and build that relationship with the land. Build it with the trees. Build it with, wherever you are at, the very ether that you sit in. It's important to send out the love. It's important to send out the quiet meditation, the mantras. We can not only pattern ourselves, we can pattern the area around us and build a relationship with that area, build a relationship with the beings that are there. And maybe sometimes I forget how much of a conversation it really is in the ether around me. Like these beautiful tools that I have been blessed to have, and I'm carrying on with them to the best of my ability because they deserve the utmost respect. I now have a relationship with them. It's a very close relationship, and that's how life should be with everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's reconnecting. Nothing's going to help us more than reconnecting to the earth, because again, she's on that ascension path. And thank you so much, True Blue. Glad you are here with us. This is really so much of what we live for. It's really doing this work, and it's not the first time that we've done it, and we've been here at other turnings of the Yugas as well. A lot of what we say, most people would probably look at and say, these guys seem kind of crazy. But you guys know, because you're awake, and you recognize that what's crazy is following along with this system. Yeah, when you have an active activation, as Chris is saying, when your pineal gland's actually working, you cannot unsee the lies. You cannot take the pill and go back into the matrix.
No, you can't. Even if that pineal gland goes back to sleep, the memories that you have still remain alive and they remain inside of you. So there's that. And I've often thought, the easy way out really is just going back to sleep and going on with my life. But I can't. Something happened to me. I had such a powerful awakening, and I know it had purpose. My life. Oh gosh, I hope you guys are there. OBS said it's disconnecting, reconnecting.
I don't see anything.
Yeah,
It
I
still
hope
looks
it's
live
still
here,
on. but they don't like us to talk about the awakening. Every time we do that, these videos take ages to upload. We've been having so many all day. We've been having so many computer problems, and you guys' support, every thumbs up, every time you make a comment, every bit of support is helpful for us. It really gives us that drive to keep going, because it can get frustrating. You know, you do all the right things and just the computers do what they want because it's of a certain frequency. They don't want it in there in the system when we do things like channeling and when we spread love and when we teach mantras and when we teach this hidden history. They definitely don't like it.
Yeah, seeing beyond the veil, as Midwestern Mom was talking about. Yeah, absolutely. It's you cannot unsee what you have seen. I really don't think you could really truly go back into the matrix once you understand this. Sometimes you might want to. You might want to say, wait a minute, this is too much. Yeah, I was thinking again, why do some people deny the obvious, which is that the deep state, the ultimate deep state, is not human. It's not Homo sapiens. Certainly not. And yet, I think it's because it's just like, what was that movie with Jack Nicholson, You Can't Handle the Truth? No, you really can't. I think there are some people that can't handle it. They just cannot handle it. It would be too disconcerting. So better to ignore and believe in a construct of the mind that's not accurate, because at least it gives you some sense of stability. It's understandable. I do think it's understandable, but at the same time, yes, as Zen Havoc says, the truth shall set you free. Yeah, when you understand this, because the bigger picture is, again, wait a minute, we are eternal souls. We came in here to do a job, and that's to bust this dark system and expose it for what it is. And, to point out to others that have been misled by this system, there's so much more for us to experience and do. Why are we spending so much time at the will, the beck and call of a dark, evil system that is taking us away from what we really should be doing, which is creating positive things out there, so many different positive potentials to go and explore, instead of just slaving away as slaves to the system. So any belief system that gives it to us that we're nothing but slaves is obviously the archons. So, that probably is maybe the best term for them.
Mm-hmm. I know. And, what also fascinates me about this information that came in was that these were they were brought in to begin with to hold the frequency. These are ancient frequency grids. And just because they lay dormant, just like everything else, energy is never destroyed. So the energy that's inside of them has got to be waking up, or I would not have gotten these signals today. So we are on the verge of some really big change. So that's why I was excited about it. It's like, oh, hooray, they're waking up, because these are living entities. They are protectors. They know what they are here to do. So I think, what are we going to go through? Probably a little bit of yuck in the Bronze Age. You do, because you learn the truth. And when people learn the truth, certain things can't be tolerated. I think it's most important that we focus on our own life and change what we can, what's right in front of us. I don't believe in causing any harm in any way, shape, or form. But I do believe in adjusting your life to make it so it's everything that you want it to be.
These were places of great importance, because where are they placed? They're placed at key ley line points. Well, your body has key ley line points as well, and these are acupuncture points that we refer to in medical Qigong, traditional Chinese medicine, again as key acupressure points, like your K1 on the bottom of the foot. There's so many, and I am so excited to do more of the actual teaching. We do have planned to have a whole series of videos on teaching, and when we get to a certain point, we may have a few days break, but we'll try to have shows as regular as we can, but we are going to focus a lot more on hands-on how-to. And I could tell you, really the key thing is just simply repetition and developing your ability to really focus. Have you ever wondered why, we had, remember headline news? It's still there, right? All the headlines in what, a minute, 90 seconds, something like that. Why you have TikTok, why you have YouTube Shorts. Everything is geared towards not having you develop your ability to focus. They don't want you focusing because you're too powerful if you focus.
They don't like that. They don't like people to be able to focus and see past the veil. They want to keep the water boiling in everyone's lives. And what do you have with boiling water? Well, if you look at boiling water, you cannot see into it. It's too disruptive. It's hot. It's painful. And you simply cannot see what lies beneath. But when we teach people how to quiet their soul and still the water, you can see the deep truth that lies inside of it.
So here, this poster is saying if this was a defensive fortification, this star fort was very vulnerable to a naval landing. Yeah, that's because it's not defensive in that sense. It's defensive in the sense of creating a bubble barrier of energy. And also, when you look to it, the beings that were working with the aliens, ultra-terrestrials, the benevolent. You got two groups of what I would say is ultra-terrestrials. A benevolent group, well, actually, you probably have three. Benevolent and the malevolent, the aggressors that ultimately took control of our reality, and an awful lot in the middle there, staying neutral and just watching. Maybe deal with us in times of peace and, are not trying to get in the middle of this bigger war that's ongoing. What was happening here is they're creating safety zones, energetic safety zones. Think about if you've ever done a ritual, how many people out there have ever drawn quarters and created a circle? Have you ever created a sacred circle in any sort of ritual practice? Well, they're doing this to a very high degree here. Yes, they are on the ley line points. There's a lot of energy flowing through Mother Earth at this point. They're also utilizing this as a shield for themselves and anybody that's being, gone after by the system. Here is one of the biggest secrets they don't want you knowing, and hopefully that this will stay going and OBS won't have any problems. When you look to what happened to the giants and how these giants were living in cities all around the earth, we have all the mounds here in the Americas, over in the Middle East, northern Israel, southern Syria, southern Lebanon, into Jordan. There were so many cities that were housing thousands to tens of thousands of people living together in big cities that were not Homo sapiens. They were wiped out. What you get in the Bible, you get David coming in. Well, we could go all the way back to Moses, who doesn't get to the promised land. Then Joshua, that leads the wars of the extermination of the giants. Again, everything that you get from the Bible has been very, very edited down, changed, distorted from the viewpoint of the victory of the archons. So they want to give you their version of the story. But the reality is what they were doing was hunting down anybody that was a threat to the system. This included humans with supernatural abilities, or what seemed to be supernatural abilities. Look to today's comic books, right? Magneto, look at all these, Xavier, Dr. Xavier, look to what do we have with Wolverine? Again, you have technology implanted into the body. What you're really seeing is the past with this. It's perhaps our almost right now, but and certainly we're going to go back to that. But these mutants, what happens to the mutants? What happens to the hybrids? They're hunted down by the system because they're too powerful and too disruptive. So many of these beings that were being persecuted by the system would take refuge in these places as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Midwestern Mom, it's best if you send us an email. All the information is going to be under every single video, so that should hopefully get you started there. But I think this information is fascinating. I loved that it came up, and I loved that I know that I'm going to get more. And I almost feel like there might be a book involved. I keep getting that because there's so many, between the lines to need to be filled in.
Yes, absolutely. Chris says we are mutants. You are absolutely right. And as Sin Havoc is saying, Moses or Akhenaten or both. Oh, yeah, or Obama for that, because again, a lot of these entities, when you really get down to it, they're the same soul is incarnating again and again. Yes, welcome, Diana. Good to see you as always. Yeah, Robbie, this topic does interconnect with so much. So, I've never seen anybody say that these star forts are literally, they're kind of like a magical barrier. That was part of their original intention. It was holding higher frequencies and helping the beings that were being persecuted because they came down in mass. When we talk about your quote-unquote Project Bluebeam fake alien invasion, the reason that's put out there is because there is a reality behind that, and the alien invasion happened thousands of years ago. Now, at the same time, that is a possibility for another timeline. But would it be necessarily evil aliens coming? I think, there's a lot of beings that are coming to Earth right now. We've touched on this, and we're going to touch on it more in future videos. But Apophis 2029. And then what was the other one that was coming now?
Apophis and what's his name? The galactic system.
So we have Apophis, which is the asteroid, and the comet that's coming now, which its name is escaping me. Give me help, guys. Atlas, Comet Atlas, right? And 2029, 2032, we also have that one that may hit us, they say, in 2032. What's up with this stuff coming? Well, the reality is there's a lot of reasons why there are actually a lot of beings coming here now. They're coming here now. 2024 YRK. Thank you so much, Robbie. Yeah, 3i. There's a lot of beings coming here because, as we were saying, the summer solstice agreement is gone now. We have no definitive treaty or anything in place. So anything could happen at any time. I think it's what's in our hearts that's going to make the most difference. If we could awaken a huge portion of humanity, we could get it so no more negative ETs, no more reptilians, with negative intentions will be heading this way, because there won't be anything here for them. That's what we have to push for.
I think that's if we put it in our minds, then we're starting to manifest that. And I believe a lot of people are learning and they're understanding and they're working on their thoughts and the information that's put out in the ether. But, I think we have a little bit of a bumpy road, but it's going to get better. And at some point, I think after all we've been through, we deserve a little break.
Susan says they say Enki is returning. From our remote viewing of Enki, I think he's on some version of a galactic beach somewhere and just chilling and in retirement. But not to say it couldn't be somebody of like mind or even a family member again. Yeah, Cindy's picking up that it's a family member. Maybe it's, like a grandchild, great-grandchild thing. Sky is very active, and where Chris is and KK up in the Pacific Northwest, you have the most Bigfoot sightings between Washington State and British Columbia. And then you'll find that there's an awful lot of UFO sightings with that. There's so many times that you'll have UFO activity and then a Bigfoot is reported as well. So, I mean, that should tell people something right there.
Mm-hmm. And more and more people are seeing things too, and I think it's fantastic, and even getting pictures. So a lot of times I think as long as there's not a bad energy about it, and if you see some things, I feel that's deliberate, and that could very well be your star family coming to say, hey, we got you.
Oh, yeah. And they are doing that for us because, even though we might forget who we are while we're incarnated, they don't. They know who you are. So, they're not allowed to totally interfere. But this is why also it's so important for us to say, speak and you'll receive, but you got to speak first. And then when we talk about frequency, as Lily Critters is talking, humanity equals love for one another. There's no higher frequency really than when you go into that zone of emanating love for the whole Earth. Yeah, let's make Earth a Louch-free zone. I love that, Susan. We need to put it on coffee mugs or something.
I know. Then there's that. I think we're working on that. Not sure, but stay tuned for those. I like that, a Louch-free zone. Maybe that on a t-shirt. Louch-free zone. I mean, what would that look like to different entities if you had that vibration actually written on your body? You're immediately disallowing their energy to come and interrupt you. I think there's something there.
So the star forts, they're not just simply a defensive mechanism. Really, they're defensive for the entirety of the planet, for all the benevolent beings that are there. They're there to hold the higher frequencies, to help us anchor in the higher frequencies. So, these things will be utilized and turned back on as we go more and more into the Bronze Age. Tell you what, there is no more exciting age than the Bronze Age. I really don't think there could be. This is the time of the turning. Everything is going to be exposed. I mean, it couldn't be any more exciting for that. Yes, it is a roller coaster ride, but hang on tight. So, guys, as always, we want to invite you, if you're so inclined, to come join us on Patreon. There are exclusives. There are different collections, too, over there. So, this one is the one that we're going to be developing, becoming a EEARTS, EEARTS, Evolutionary Energy Arts. I've been all focused on Heart's Ohm this morning. We did do an upload yesterday on Heart's Ohm, a channeling from Vishnu. So if you haven't seen that, it's on Heart's Ohm. And this superhuman potential, honestly, this has been one of my favorite things doing. 25 videos right there, right now. Superhuman potential realized. This is all about helping us to understand the bigger possibilities. As you see, the last one was lesson 12. We'll have lesson 13 upcoming. And, it's all about how to develop yourself to your highest potential, and just basic things we have to understand that you would have been taught in any school in a Bronze Age, outside of the archonic system.
Okay, you guys, I want to say huge thank yous to our supporters today, Midwest Mama, Susan Donahue, Feel Free, and Greg. I hope I got everyone. If I did not, I will definitely make it up to you. So everyone think happy thoughts. Happy thoughts. Let's manifest a Louch-free world. And we're going to get grounded. And I'm going to do 3 dings. So visualize, your pineal gland is so important. That's like the information that's circling around your body, and it's a silent listener. So whatever you put in that pineal gland, your body is going to take that information and move forward in life and help you get that. So think happy thoughts. Here we go. We're going to do 3. Thanks so much, you guys. You all take care. Be safe. Source bless and namaste.
Namaste.